have well over 2 million visitors a year here on the Mount Tamalpais watershed, and there are 6 of us park rangers whose job is to protect and preserve Marin County's most precious resource and to help those visitors using the lands. And that can make for some really busy days. The day began with a weekly staff briefing at the Sky Oaks Ranger Station. For 100 years now, we've been protecting the water quality on Mount Tamalpais, along with the people who enjoy it.
The watershed lands are the cornerstone of this network of public lands that we have in Marin. And it's really William Kent's legacy. During the progressive era, turn of the century, when the idea of public lands for nature protection was coming on, William Kent was at the middle of this. He donated the lands that became Muir Woods. That was sort of the foundation of this network. But when the district was formed in 1912, most importantly, it brought 10,000 acres of watershed lands. William Kent envisioned, earlier than MMWD, a Mount Tamalpais National Park. That never happened, but over time, beginning with Muir Woods, then the watershed lands that grew to 22,000 acres, that grew into protected land network of over 150,000 acres. So William Kent's vision of a Mount Tamalpais National Park didn't formally happen, but in effect, it came true. So we're all living that legacy. Mount Tam's really special in that it's almost like a magnet for rainfall. We get a lot of water on the lee of the mountain, and that's why the reservoirs are here. And at the front line of taking care of this water supply that's precious to the community are our rangers. And they do a lot of special work. They keep the public safe, they keep the land intact, and they're the guardians of the water supply.
I was inspired to be a park ranger because growing up here in Marin County, I spent much of my childhood exploring Mount Tam. Being a park ranger is a great job because there is so much variety. On any given day, I may be a police officer, an educator, a nature guide, a medic, a firefighter, and an all-around caretaker of Mount Tamalpais. Since I was a kid, I wanted to be a park ranger. When I was in first grade at Greenbury School, my Halloween costume that year was that of a park ranger. My dad knew the supervising ranger, Samuel P. Taylor, and he loaned us a ranger hat and gave us a uniform shirt. And ever since then, I wanted to be a ranger.
I've been at the Water District here since August of last year. I love this area. I love the watershed. I have a true appreciation for the rangers and what they do and the protection of this area and the watershed itself. 22,000 acres, and we have 7 lakes. I appreciate working with this group of rangers. They've been here for the most part for over 10 years. They're great at what they do. They care deeply about this mountain and about the watershed area. One thing I find, having the ability and the liberty to drive on the fire roads, is I'm finding areas on this mountain that I would have never, ever discovered before. And you talk about a variety. You have anything from waterfalls, meadows, groves of redwoods, you name it, we got it. One of the things that I truly appreciate about what the Rangers do up here is they have a great reputation with the other agencies around here, including the Sheriff's Office and fire departments and local police departments. We are the first responders up here. Obviously, we're first on scene for a lot of medical aids, and I think that that's phenomenal. It shows the diversity of what this job is all about. Today, we have a pile burn going, which we do to reduce the fire load. And because it's green now, we're able to burn off some of the excess fuel in preparation for the summertime, fire hazards. And so one of the things that the Rangers do is We keep an eye on that after the maintenance crew goes out. We have a fire truck also, which we run and also the maintenance crew runs. So we keep an eye on the pile burns after everybody else has gone home to make sure that the watershed is protected day and night. One of the other aspects that we do here on the watershed, we have a lot of different groups up here. Maintenance, 1TAM, which is a volunteer group, the fisheries. So we work with all these groups, including the volunteers, and one of the things that we want to make sure is that each group is successful and we support one another, and we do that successfully. We're there for each other. The volunteers help us out, we help them out. We certainly work close with maintenance. They're all over the watershed just the same as we are. And they're our eyes in addition to what we are. There's only 6 rangers here, plus 2 deputies for 22,000 acres. So it's spread pretty thin, to be honest with you. But it offers a lot of freedom for the rangers. It offers a lot of diversity and the ability to get out and be part of this watershed area and see it all. It's beautiful.
A big part of our resource management program is supplemented by volunteers who assist Water District staff with large habitat restoration projects. Today, our volunteer coordinator, Suzanne Whelan, was out there pulling one of our most invasive weeds with a group of people near Bontempi Lake.
Up on the watershed, we have 22,000 acres of land, and there are a lot of invasive species that we want to get rid of, and we can't do that with staff alone. We need a lot of volunteers to help us pull, especially broom, thistle, there's other invasive species. And pulling by hand is the most effective way of getting rid of the invasive species, so we need a lot of volunteers and a lot of hands to pull. We depend on the rangers for support of the volunteer program. Actually, they're the inspiration for the volunteer program. They've been around here for 100 years, and they support our volunteer program by dropping in, helping out, obviously encouraging safe behavior. And it's really great to see the volunteers and the staff and the rangers working together. Stewardship on Mount Tam, it's a beautiful thing. The Water District doesn't use pesticides, so that makes it even more important to get people out and pulling by hand. And we really need that support because we can't do it alone. I do love having the rangers out here. They're just an amazing presence, and they add so much value to the people's time up here. I think people are really happy to see staff in uniform, especially the rangers with the hat and the badges, and people not only feel safer, but they know that the place is being taken care of, and people are up here, they appreciate that.
This past winter has been a rough one on the Mount Tamalpais watershed. We had record rainfall, and along with that, a deluge of maintenance issues. There are approximately 60 miles of trail and 90 miles of road on the Mount Tamalpais watershed, and keeping them open is challenging. On my way back home to my ranger house at Alpine Dam, I stopped in to see how our maintenance crew was doing with one of their many projects.
This last winter, the Water District was tested with a series of storms, and it really stressed our infrastructure, and we really needed the rangers to go out and be an eyes and ears for the maintenance department. And they did a great job doing so, and they would go out and find the hazards like down power lines, hazard trees, road closures due to landslides, fissures in the road. And they do that frequently throughout the year, but this year it was a big test. And they would report back to us, and that way we can then better delegate our resources to attack the different hazards that have come to us each day with all these different storms that have come into play this year. And then once we're on these sites, the rangers will come in and be tasked with securing our job site. They're one of the best people for that because their job is to help enforce regulations on the watershed and their knowledge of the land. The Marin Municipal Water District needs to provide around 20 million gallons of water daily to the residents of Marin County. And working on the watershed, the rangers and the maintenance staff need to help preserve the landscape as best in a natural state as possible to make a clean runoff into our reservoirs, making the filtration process easy. The rangers play a vital role in educating the public on our policies and regulations on the watershed and why it's so important to follow those regulations. And they do a great job with educating them, making them more aware of what they're doing up on the watershed. It's not just a park, It's a watershed. It's their drinking water. The rangers are our eyes and ears, and they're on the front line of preserving Mount Tam in a natural state.
Mount Tamalpais Watershed is part of a vast tract of protected lands here in Marin County. At one time, the park rangers did everything, but now with millions of visitors a year and many issues to deal with, the rangers are lucky to be joined by fellow Water District employees who help us protect Marin County's most precious natural resource. I'm part of a long line of Marin Municipal Water District park rangers that have been protecting Mount Tamalpais for the past 100 years. Since 1917, when the MMWD founded its park ranger program, our job duties have largely remained the same, patrolling the mountain and protecting those using it. Although one major change has happened, we no longer have to supply our own horse. Every day I wake up to this incredible job in this beautiful place, and I'm very grateful for that. For the past 22 years, I have served as a park ranger for the Marin Municipal Water District. I am proud to protect and preserve the Mount Tamalpais watershed.